Morning, Saturday. Oh, November 2nd, 2024. I'm Larissa. The time has come to drink from skulls. Here I am. I had all kinds of weird dreams last night. Oh my God. I had all kinds of weird dreams last night. I was at the cotton mill in my dream. Oh my God. I was at the cotton mill studios in my dream where I used to live in Oakland. And I was all skinny again. And I was like dressed in these really shabby clothes and I had holes in them, and there was like a trial going on. And I was fighting this giant dude. And I kept biting him. Like there were all these people there. And I'm like sitting up in the front. We're in one of the units. It wasn't my unit, it was in one of the other units. But it didn't look like the inside of the unit, but it was in the unit. Because like then we went out in the I went out in the hallway, and it's like this guy kept saying to me, "You need to go home." I'm like, "I am home. I live here. You're in my home." That's what I kept saying to him. I said, "You need to get the fuck out of my home." I was fighting with this guy. And like, then we got into it. I was like punching him. He's like sitting there and I'm like punching him. I bit his face. I bit his eyebrow. It was weird fucking dream. And then these other people show up, and like this other woman is like on trial at this place too. She's dressed so much better than me though. She's dressed real fancy, and I'm wearing these clothes with holes in them. And she's like, "Come with us." I'm like, "Okay." So I go with them, and we get in the car, and we're driving, we're like really far away, and I'm like, "Where are we going? We gotta go back there." I said, "I live there." And she's like, "Oh, you can't go back there." "Oh, no, that's not where we're going." And I'm just like, "What?" So I'm like, "Stop the car." And we stop the car, and we're walking around in this neighborhood. It's like on the other side of Oakland. Like, I need to go back. She's like, "Oh, you can't go back there." And I walk into this restaurant, or into this building. And it's like this dark lounge, and there's these guys sitting around on couches with tables in the middle, and there's like TVs, but it's real dark. And one guy goes, "What's the matter, honey?" Because I was crying. It was old guys, real old guys sitting around. And I said, "Oh, I'm really, really embarrassed." I said, "I need to get home." I said, "But I can't get there, and I'm embarrassed to say this, but I don't know how to call a cab." And the guy's like, "Oh, well, we can help you with that." I'm like, "Okay." Weird fucking dream. But, like, I was at one of the times I was attacked at the cotton mill. I don't remember what happened. And it's not that I don't remember. I was roofied. So, like, I have, because that's different than, like, just passing out, It's like the drug shuts your brain off. Like, at one point, all I could see was, like, bright light, right? Like, my pupils must have been giant, right? And I could hear everybody. There were a whole bunch of people that were in the room. I could hear them. There was somebody touching me, kissing me. Oh, it was upsetting. That's like the very last thing I remember. It's very upsetting. Very, very upsetting. It's not fun being drugged. No, it's not. Mm-mm. Mm. Yesterday, I got a whole bunch of jewelries made. Nobody came in. A whole bunch of people walked by. A whole bunch of people read my sign, looked at my table. They didn't come in. I guess nobody wants to talk to me. Nobody wants to be around me. Every now and then I get somebody that comes in. I guess when I was first first in Saratoga, people didn't come in at first either. But I've had some people come in, they're like, "Oh, we're really happy you're here." I'm like, "Oh, really? Okay." Oh, went to a neb shit around the neighborhood last night after work, after I closed. I went down to this bar and chatting with people. I don't know. I feel like nobody understands what the hell I'm saying. I was talking to this guy, and I thought we were agreeing on something. And then he's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you." I'm like, "You didn't offend me?" And I'm like, I was agreeing with, like, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm agreeing with what you just said. And then he got all weird. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I don't understand what you're talking about. I guess. Or, I don't know, maybe he didn't understand what I was talking about. And there's this other guy, the guy who was a bartender. So, like, I'm asking questions because, like, I don't know anything. Like, we've lived in Santa Cruz for almost 7 years, and I don't know anybody because fucking locked us away in pandemic lockdown. And when, in the short period of time that I was out and about, like, it was weird, right? Like, I don't know. So, the bartender's like, "Oh, I've lived here my whole life," and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. Like, we were talking about the name of the neighborhood, and it's, like, contentious. And it's like, "Oh, this is East Side." I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't fucking care what the name of the neighborhood is, as long as it's all agreed upon, so I can tell people where the fuck my store is when I'm marketing it, right? Like, all these people have this weird, like, emotional attachment to a neighborhood name. And I'm like, okay. But there's like 3 different neighborhood names. Right? I'm just going with the one that most businesses go with, so we can fucking market our businesses. I don't have emotional attachment to it. This is a matter of practicality for me. Right? Like, I don't care what the fucking name is. But you're not coming in my store buying stuff, and you're not paying for my marketing. So what the hell do I care if, I'm going to go with the people that... And so this guy was all bent out of shape. So then the bartender's like, "Oh, well, I grew up here. This is East." I'm like, okay, fine. And I'm like, "Well, where?" I'm like, "Where do you live? Where do you live? Where'd you grow up?" He's like, and because I'm just asking. I'm like, "I don't know you." I'm not being defensive. I'm not being aggressive. I'm like having I think I'm just having conversation. I don't know. I know I don't fit in. So anyway, he's like, "Oh, we're behind Dominican Hospital." I'm like, "Oh, yeah?" I said, "Okay, I know where that's at." I said, "What do you think of the Dominicans?" He's like, "The what?" I got all upset. I'm like, "The Dominicans. What do you think of the Dominicans?" And he's like, "I don't know what you're saying to me. I get really sensitive the way people ask me questions. You talk about, like, Dominican Republic? I'm like, no. I'm like, the Dominicans are an order in the church. He's like, well, do they own the hospital? I said, no, the church owns the hospital. The Dominicans just run it. And he's like, oh, well, I've got nothing to say because I didn't know that. And I'm like, okay. Then he's like, I gotta go. I'm like, okay. But I'm just like, so you've lived here all your life, and you thought the Dominican hospital was named after the Dominican Republic? I'm like, oh, okay. All right. That's just weird to me. That it's funny to me. But it kind of blew my mind. I'm like, oh, how many people around here think that Dominican Hospital is called Dominican Hospital because of the Dominican Republic? I think that has something to do with Dominican people. No. I mean, in a weird way, I mean, it has to do with the Dominican Order of Nuns and Priests. I was just curious what he thought about the Catholic hospital as a business. So, what do you ask about Dominicans? I'm like, okay. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do when I talk to people. They get upset. What do you? I don't know what to talk about. What do you want me to, I don't know how to talk. I don't know. I guess I am just a fucking moron. I'm a fucking idiot, I guess. I don't know. I feel like that. I feel like that because it's like, I don't, I must be retarded. I have to be. I must be retarded. And then the other guy, like I said, I thought I was agreeing with what he was saying about something. And then he's like, I didn't mean to offend you. I'm like, offend me? I'm not offended. I was like totally at a loss. I'm like, he's like, well, you're loud. I'm like, this is just my speaking voice. I'm like, I'm loud. I'm not speaking any louder than the woman you're with, man. She was talking the whole fucking park could hear. I don't know. It's just my speaking voice. I guess my voice carries. I don't know. I'm just talking like this. I don't know. I don't know. Oh. Oh. My fucking hip was like, it was raining last night and the rain was stopping and starting and stopping and starting. My hip, I was having shooting pains down my side. Oh. I was curious to know what people who live around the Dominican hospital think about Dominican hospital because of the way I was treated when I was there. Jeez. Like, I talked to, when that happened, when what happened to me there happened, I talked to this other woman. This other woman was like, oh, yeah, they do that kind of shit all the time. I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, well, I guess they're a big employer in the community, so, like, people probably like that, but they treated me like garbage, and I still have injury, and I have trouble doing things that are just, I need to do to take care of me, right? Like, because of it, because of what they did, or more accurately, what they didn't do. Because of the way they abused me. Anyway. Anyway. I'll go back into the gallery today. Be open to the public. And continue just being me. I just got to be me. I just got to be me. What else can I be but what I am? I am what I am. Oh. I don't fit in anywhere. And there's no place I want to be. You know?